Now a different perspective. Welcome back to the Hardline. Buckley Fellow at National Review Institute, Ian Tuttle. Ian, we're talking about a lot of different things that happened in the debate last night. In your opinion, will any of it, anything that Ted Cruz said, Marco Rubio said, anything else, stick to Donald Trump?
Yeah, I think so. I think the Trump university attacks were very, very effective. During the last debate last Thursday, Trump University spiked on Google when Rubio and Cruz brought it up. I think that's something that we're going to be hearing more about and that people care about. I think Trump's on-stage flip-flop on his immigration platform, despite the fact that his campaign tried to roll it back after the debate, is something that is going to be going to stick in people's minds. Collectively, Trump just had a very bad night. He was on the defensive from beginning to end. And for people who are making up their minds late, as many of them are, previous primary contests have showed that they're breaking decidedly away from Trump. So that may be, last night may encourage more of that going forward.
Ian, here's a couple of sound bites from last night that I found fascinating. Towards the end of the debate, Marco Rubio, they started to talk about policy. And in so many people's opinion, this is what should have been going on from the very beginning, to go at Donald Trump over policy questions. Here's exactly what he did. Here's the listen.
Once again, he was pressed on a policy issue to show his understanding of the foreign policy, and his reaction was just to attack somebody else with a name. This is a time for seriousness on these issues. You have yet to answer a single serious question about any of this. Will you give us a detailed answer about foreign policy anytime you're asked on it?
Ian, I'm going to get hammered on this, but I'm going to go ahead and do it anyway. I listened to that answer, and there was not a detailed answer there when it comes down to policy. Now, people will say, wait a minute, politicians don't ever give you a detailed answer. That's not what they're supposed to do in debates and other things like this when they appear in front of the general public. But is it not fair to say that every candidate, Trump, Rubio, Cruz, anybody, detailed answers are what people want, and that's one thing where they got Trump. He wasn't able to do it, and they should have been doing this from the very first moment.
Well, yeah, absolutely. I mean, in every debate, we saw this in just the first two or three. When the conversation would turn to policy, Trump would fade out, and when it would turn back to, I guess, style over substance or tone, Trump would reemerge. We saw substantive policy. We've seen substantive policy proposals from the candidates who are up there now, from several of the candidates who were there on stage beforehand. Carly Fiorina was fairly detailed in a number of her offerings. Trump's just never been in that conversation because he doesn't know enough, and he's indicated no interest in actually getting to know these issues at a deep enough level to offer substantive policy proposals. And that's part of the reason that he could flip-flop on stage last night and dismiss it and think that it won't matter.
Well, let me get to that, too. I've only got about a minute left. He was asked to clarify his stance on visas that bring in highly skilled workers to the United States. This is also a point of order. Here's what he said.
We need highly skilled people in this country, and if we can't do it, we'll get them in. And we do need, in Silicon Valley, we absolutely have to have. So we do need highly skilled.
You are abandoning the position on your website.
I'm changing it, and I'm softening the position because we have to have talented people in this country.
And then afterwards, he then stated on his website, the H-1B program is neither high-skilled nor immigration. These are temporary foreign workers imported from abroad. He tried to back up on it. Not fair. Again, Ian, if we're going to be completely fair to everybody here, he's waffled. He has flip-flopped.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he waffled over the course of 3 hours. Yeah, it's so transparent. Looking toward a general election, Silicon Valley is going to, those folks who need foreign workers or say they need foreign workers are going to be big donors. He might be reaching out to them. But frankly, I just think that Donald Trump doesn't actually have a position on any of this. He talks to one person one day and believes one thing, and another person the next day and believes something else. That's what we saw last night. And anybody who thinks that he's going to be reliable in carrying through the promises that he's made over this campaign season, well, I've got, a package of Trump steaks to sell you.
And we need to point out to everybody that we are not just saying Donald Trump, Marco Rubio, Ted Cruz, John Kasich, Hillary Clinton, Bernie Sanders, every single one of them need to have their feet held to the fire every single day, because that's what happens when you elect a president. Be fair to everybody. Ian Tuttle, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us. Now, the lip service that has been handed, changing the way our military vets are given medical care, and the Stonewall. No one's taking it head on. We will next.